What's up, boys? Ragnarok here. Welcome to my top 10 Legend of Total War moments. Before we get right into it, there are a few things I'd like to talk about briefly. First, this video was a lot more difficult to make than I realized it would be. There are heaps of reasons for that, but of course, the main one is that we're losing Legend. That is, as of January 1st, 2026, Legend of Total War will no longer be creating new Total War content on YouTube. And what's worse, he may decide to leave content creation altogether. And the reality is, in a very real way, January 1st, 2026 is the day Total War finally dies. I mean, to be fair, Total War has been in its death throes for a long time now, but losing Total War's greatest champion is akin to losing the game's heart and soul. Without Legend, there is no one to crush these games in quite the way only he could. No one to reveal the many exploits, no one to come up with endless cheese, no one to point out the defects, no one to call out Creative Assembly on their bad faith, disingenuous, low effort, shoddy game design, and contempt for the fans of Total War games. On a personal level, Legend has been a massive inspiration. Without Legend of Total War, there would have never been a Ragnarok Total War or an auto resolve. Not that the world asked for or wanted either, but still, watching Legend made me think to myself, hey, I'd love to do what that guy does, or at least something in the ballpark of what he does. I mean, no one could really do what Legend does. He was the best long before he was the biggest Total War YouTuber, and he inspired a generation of Total War players and content creators. Truly, the game will not be the same without him. My list today includes my own top 10 Legend of Total War moments. I know this list will be different for every one of us. There have been so many great moments that was near impossible to boil them down to just 10, and honestly, these are more series that I really enjoyed rather than just specific moments necessarily, but ultimately I went with the ones that first came to mind, the ones that I felt best exemplified his character and the moments that left a lasting impression with me. Please, everyone, share your own favorite Legend of Total War moments in the comment sections. I think we'll all benefit from hearing all of the different stories and moments, myself included. And now, my top 10 Legend of Total War moments. Number 10. Legend versus Lionheart. Warhammer 1. Orcs versus the Empire. When I first discovered Total War, I wasn't doing much gaming at the time. I was studying and working on a degree in philosophy. I always like to have a little background noise on while I'm studying or reading, and I discovered some videos of pixelated Apollo and Lionheart playing a little game called Total War. I'm not sure who I came across first, but watching Apollo really showcased the battles, and Lionheart was great for seeing the campaign side of things. I couldn't help thinking to myself that this game is fucking awesome. So I started watching more videos. Eventually I came across a head-to-head series between Lionheart and some fella calling himself Legend of Total War. Lionheart was my guy and I was rooting for him during the series. I remember the general interaction between the two of them and thinking, who does this fucking Legend guy think he is? In any case, the series is filled with some great banner, solid head-to-head battles, and classic Legend painting the map versus another great Total War campaign player who just can't keep up with Legend's campaign dominance. Unfortunately, the series ends anticlimactically as the victory conditions for head-to-head in Warhammer 1 are predefined in the game for whoever reaches a specific number of settlements first. However, the two decide to square off for one final battle, which to this day is one of the most epic Total War battles I've seen. Each player brings to bear as many armies as they can muster to one territory, and the two players fight it out in vintage Warhammer Orcs versus Empire fashion. It's rare that you watch a Total War battle where your heart is racing, and that's exactly what I got with this one. Yes, there's a bit of lag, and yes, there's a smidge of swordsman spam, but this battle is and remains one of my all-time favorite battles in Total War history. Number 9. Eastern Roman Empire, Total War Attila. This is Total War. Alright, fast forward a year or so. I've now actually played a little bit of Total War, despite the smoke coming out of my old PC when I run the games. Rome 2 and Attila were my first forays into the series. Luckily and thankfully, I missed the disaster launch of Rome 2. It was probably around this time when the initial seeds of starting a YouTube channel were taking root in the back of my mind. I was thinking about what the best way might be to take on the Western Roman Empire in Total War Attila. My idea was, why not blow up most of the empire and focus on fortifying a smaller area, maybe the Iberian Peninsula, for example. Essentially, abandon everything but a few defensible provinces and consolidate power there. Of course, when I was thinking of this grand strategy of mine, I came across Legend of Total War's Eastern Roman Empire. This is Total War campaign. While it was Eastern Rome, not Western, Legend's approach was essentially the same. Abandon everything but Egypt, sow chaos throughout the other lands, and abuse the Eastern Empire's secret weapon: compound interest. I was like, what the hell? This guy again. But this time he stole my strategy right out of my mind and did it 10 times better than I ever could. Honestly, this was such a great series. It showcases Legend's battle prowess, but also demonstrates his long-term, grand strategic thinking. French kiss for this one. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I think it's the moment that I became a tried and true Legend of Total War fan. Number 8, White Huns, Total War Attila. Attila again, I know.
No, I think we can win this. Alright, let's do this.
This one probably flew past most people's radar. If I remember correctly, I think I was watching this Let's Play around the same time that the first Saving Your Disaster battles were coming out. And it was around the same time when I became a full-fledged Legend of Total War fanboy. There were a couple things that I really loved about this campaign. One, the Huns and the Horse Archers. They're on full display here. And two, especially early on, there are so many battles where Legend dusts multiple armies with a single stack. It's a great showcase of what made Attila's battle morale system so good, and in addition to that, it's Legend at his best, winning victory after victory with minimum casualties, pushing the limits of what can be done with elite units in the right hands. Number 7. Thrones of Britannia. I know that Legend wouldn't agree with this one, as it's probably a moment he'd like to forget, and it may be the moment that led to what's going on now, or at least the genesis of what's happened now. But in any case, it marks the beginning of a bitter feud with the developers of Total War Creative Assembly. I mention it simply because it revealed both the character of Legend and of CA. Many of us wanted Thrones of Britannia to be great. The game was coming out on the tailwinds of Warhammer, but also of massively popular TV shows like Vikings and The Last Kingdom. A Viking Age struggle for control of the British Isles in full Total War glory was exactly what the Doctor ordered. But what we got was a heaping pile of cheap and poorly thought out game design. Legend called it out from the very beginning with honest criticism. CA's response was to blacklist him, turning the feud ugly which nearly led to Legend leaving the Total War community for good. Thankfully, and to all of our benefit, Legend came back to Total War and went on to become the biggest Total War content creator in history. And to this day, he has never abandoned his principles, and I believe has always had the community's best interest at heart. The other side of this incident, and the ones that would come in the future, has left many of us wondering if CA actually has any principles. Number 6. Saving your disaster battles. Seems like just yesterday that Legend started making saving your disaster campaigns and battle videos, but it was actually 7 long years ago, which is crazy to me. In that time, he saved countless campaigns and battle outcomes from certain defeat. But what I really loved about this series was watching a player who is already a master of these games hone his skills and abilities even more. We all get to see Legend evolve in real time, pushing both the game mechanics and systems as well as his own abilities to their very limits. It's a Total War masterclass and a lesson in the tenacity to never accept defeat. It's no wonder that this series is what elevated Legend into a whole new stratosphere on YouTube and is a big part of why he's always been the best. Number 5, Blitz campaigns. I don't know that any other series of campaigns better exemplify what Legend is all about more than the Blitz campaigns. Time, meticulous planning, and a relentless drive for perfection are what it takes to bring one of these blitzes together. I've always been in awe anytime I watch one of these series. Whether it was Medieval 2, Shogun 2, Empire, or Warhammer 3's unmatched Immortal Empires map. Anyone who's ever played Total War should appreciate what kind of dedication and work is involved in putting together one of these blitzes. Number 4, No Defeats Warhammer 3. Just when you think you've seen someone do it all, they come out and do the unthinkable. Legend's 2 no defeat campaigns were something I never thought I'd see. I know he suffered a defeat in his High Elf Tarian attempt, but I think this simply showed just how difficult defeat actually is. One moment of letting down your guard, one tiny mistake, one small detail overlooked, or one slight miscalculation, and it's all over. When Legend completed the Karl Franz Empire full map Immortal Empires campaign without suffering a single loss, he climbed to the tippy top of the mountain with no one else in sight anywhere. Number 3, Western Rome Total War Attila. This is Total War. In my humble opinion, this is the signature Legend of Total War experience. The level of difficulty for this campaign was off the charts, not only because of the difficulty of playing as Western Rome, or the difficulty of playing a campaign where you declare war on every single other faction in the game, but because of the difficulty of the game itself in this early build. What Legend achieved in this Let's Play can never be duplicated. This is because corruption in the game, which significantly impacts your economy, has since been nerfed to such a degree that Attila is no longer the same game as it was when Legend completed this campaign. The Western Roman Empire has Legend using old school cheese, timeless strategy, and battle tactics with full-on salty foul-mouthed Legend. For me, this series was and is the definitive Legend of Total War experience, but at the same time foreshadows what Legend would become in the years ahead. Number 2, Charity Events. Say what you will about Legend, but there are not a lot of folk out there who have organized and raised as much money for charity as he has. It's a class act, and Legend always puts on a great show for these charities, often sacrificing his own well-being for the cause he's raising money for. 24-hour live stream marathons are no joke, boys. Whatever you do in life, when you have success, good fortune, or are in a position to help others, I believe that it's paramount that you do help, even if it's only in some small way. And Legend has used his platform and position to give back in a massive way. It's by far the most admirable work he's done, and it goes a long way to show his character and that of his true audience and fans. The trolls, the shills, and the CA sycophants can all go fuck themselves. Legend's real community I salute, and I thank Legend for bringing us all together. And finally, boys, number 1. Europa Universalis 5. Listen, I'm not crazy about Paradox games myself. I find them a bit dull, to be honest. Maybe it's just that their depth and scope is a smidge over my head, or maybe I'm too much of an action junkie. Can't play any games without that running and gunning. You know what I mean? Whatever the case, I can certainly appreciate why so many people loved it. Many of the strategic elements are unrivaled in their respective genres. So why is Europa Universalis 5 my top Legend of Total War moment? Well, it should be kinda obvious. It's our last hope, boys, to see Legend of Total War, or whatever new version of Legend we might get in the future. And to be honest, I'm starting to warm up to Europa Universalis after watching Legend play it. I thoroughly enjoy watching him play EU5, watching him explain how the systems work, and watching him discover new exploits. And if Europa Universalis 5 is what's gonna bring Legend back to the YouTubes, whether it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, or a decade from now, well, fuck me sideways. That'd have to be my top Legend of Total War moment of all time. I'm not sure what else to add, or what I could possibly say that would do justice to what Legend of Total War has given all of us. The sacrifice, the dedication, the endless hours of top-tier dominant gameplay, the unapologetic adherence to the truth and what he believes to be right. We're saying goodbye to the foul-mouthed, short-tempered Australian, aka Jeff, the Cheese God. But if he were to decide to come back on January 2nd, 2026, or any other day for that matter, well, it wouldn't be a moment too soon, and I think we'd all welcome back our old friend with open arms. Enjoy your much-deserved rest, relaxation, and family time, Legend. We're gonna miss you and those ostrich-like legs of yours. See you later, fucker.